Guys, we're gonna get so cherry coated today. What the heck does that even mean? I know. He's confused. I'm confused. You're confused. But I'm gonna clarify all of that for you guys today. Cherry prints have been a signature motif of fashion since the 1950s, particularly pinup. Since that time, the cherry print has been recycling its way through the fashion world over and over again, and it's making a major comeback right now. Cherry prints are a signature of femininity, flirtation, and they just give off this retro vibe, and it's so fun, and I'm so excited that it's back. So Marilyn Monroe and a bunch of other vintage style icons kind of popularized this trend way back when. But now that we've had this Y2K revival, this coquette type aesthetic that's been going on over the last several months, we're starting to see cherries incorporated into it now, and it's just kind of blown up. So cherry red is a major player in the fashion game right now, and this is why I think that's happening. And ultimately, I think that the main reason that it's so popular and so cherished by everyone right now is that it just gives this feeling of nostalgia. So the cherry print in and of itself, the cherry red hue, all of that, it was super popular in the early 2000s. So I'm a 90s baby. I would like to think that a lot of my followers are around the same age as me, so I'm sure this speaks to you as well. And you know, even if it doesn't, hey, it's a fun, bold, and flirty hue that we can all play around with. But like I mentioned earlier in the video, the coquette vibe, the coquette aesthetic that's going on right now, you know, you've seen it, the lace, the bows, the pink, all of that. It's now they're bringing cherries into it. So it's taking that coquette aesthetic and it's bringing that early 2000s cherry hue and it's mixing the two together. And again, it's just going nuts. Everybody is seeing it everywhere. You're seeing it in Target. You're seeing it in American Eagle. You're seeing it in major brands right now. And I know that I drove past like a Pepsi truck the other day and it's just like decked out in cherries. They've always had wild cherry Pepsi, but they never branded it the way that they did until right now, which is smart because it's huge. Another area that we're also seeing a lot of this color trend though is the runways. So major fashion companies are taking this and they're running with it. I think the reason why it's so popular right now in the runway world and in the fashion world is because it really, really screams femininity, but also confidence. Now, we all know that trends come and go. Something is cool today and tomorrow it's cringe. It's really hard these days for a fashion trend to stay relevant, but in my opinion, I feel like I've seen this trend ongoing for several months now, and it doesn't look like it's going anywhere anytime soon. Again, I think this trend is different because it taps into a huge area and feeling of nostalgia for a lot of us. It's almost like a time capsule that was just busted wide open for a lot of us, but it's being modernized in a way that I really honestly can't get enough of. Everybody loves a good comeback. Obviously, I love fashion. I would like to think that if you're here, you do as well. Otherwise, you're not going to be too excited about what the rest of this video has to offer, but I love fashion. It's a way that I use to express myself in my busy day-to-day life. I use the, theoretical, mathematical, etc., whatever thinking portion of my brain so often that this, for me, dressing, sharing my fashion with you, and exploring more into the world of everything is such a huge creative outlet for me. And I think it is for a lot of women, and I think it can be a very empowering creative outlet. And this, I don't know about you, but when I wear this dark burgundy red, this cherry red, these cherry hues, or any sort of red, to be honest with you, I feel a sort of confidence that I can't explain. And I think that's another reason why this trend hasn't gone anywhere anytime soon, because women just put it on and feel amazing in it. But like, why now? Where did this come from? I mean, where does any trend come from? Like I said, you wake up one day and all of a sudden something random is like everywhere. But to be honest with you, like I said earlier, this trend has actually kind of been simmering in the back burner for a while now. She's been there this whole time, incognito on social media. A lot of influencers have been making subtle hints at it. The underground fashion world has been making use of it in a lot of their shows. But the trend caught on majorly, once major fashion influencers and major fashion cultures started really adopting the trend and really embracing it in a more loud and more expressive way. When we go back to the early 2000s, we try to figure out, why did this trend come back to play? Because like I said, it was like the 1950s with Marilyn Monroe and her red. And then all of a sudden in the early 2000s, it made a comeback again. But think back to like Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera. They were absolute icons of that time. And both of them have these super famous outfits that you've seen it, whether you can, name each item off of that outfit off the top of your head right now, you know that outfit. And that popularized it back in the 2000s. They ran with it then. It kind of trickled out. And now we're starting to see it again with major influencers and fashion models and things like that again. So it's coming back. So fast forward to today. This cherry red color is everywhere. We're talking high-end fashion to street style. And I mean, it's not even just limited to fashion. We're seeing it in makeup looks, nail colors, purses, anything that you can really think of that you can smack a cherry onto or turn red, they're doing that. And I'm here for it. What I think really solidified this moment, though, is the runway show a couple years ago when Gigi Hadid came out in that super bright red, cherry red ensemble with her twin, Bella. I think ever since then is kind of when it started to simmer. And then since then, with most trends, typically you see kind of like something that's going to stick around for a while at least. You start to see a slow incline and then all of a sudden it just boosts. And I think that's really what kind of set this off, if you're asking me. My absolute favorite part of this trend is that it's not limited to like one specific item. Like there's so many ways to do it. And in my most recent blog article, I kind of go into details and provide examples and give example looks and things that you can actually even go shop. But like I said, you can use it as a statement piece. You can use it as like brightly colored tops, a sweater, for instance. You can use it as blazers, jackets, coats, whatever. You can do a monochromatic red look with it. We're seeing a lot of the burgundy cherry red tights right now, which are really, really starting to make the tights with the socks and even socks over the tights. I mean, we're seeing so many different new emerging trends right now. It's hard to keep up, but you can use it as a monochromatic piece. You can use it in your accessories. For instance, I have a red front right now. We see it in bows. You can use bags. There's a lot of bright red leather heels going on right now. A bright red leather maxi skirt is super popular as well for one of these looks. There's just so many different things and ways that you can utilize this trend to your advantage. And there's so many different ways because it's just a color. It's a color, so you can turn it into basically anything that you desire to turn it into. And I think that's another thing that makes it so expressive and so fun and such a great way for women to express their femininity. And I really, truly just love this trend. In fact, I think it's more than just a trend. It's almost like a cultural phenomenon of sorts. I mean, it's a statement. It's about individuality. It's about creative expression. It's about being bold. It's about not being afraid to show who you truly are through your style, through your accessorization, however you may do it. With this trend, we can embrace our flaws. We can embrace our true selves. We can embrace our true identities. It's hard to see why you wouldn't want to adopt it, why you wouldn't want to be a part of such a cool thing that's going on right now. So, yeah, it's a movement. I'm calling it. It's a movement. And I think it's here to stay, for now at least. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you're interested to see how you can incorporate some of these looks into outfits, how you can utilize this trend, and look for even some shoppable items that you may want to incorporate into your wardrobe and see what you might be able to do or come up with those, you can actually go to my website. It's going to be linked in the comment section or the description of the video below. It's just www.retracethesesteps.com. My most recent article just came out last night at 8 o'clock. I'd like to know what your thoughts are about all of this. I know you guys have seen it everywhere, And so I'm just interested to hear what your take on everything is. Do we hate it? Do we love it? What are you thinking? Leave those thoughts in the comments below. And, you know, if you like this video, if you're interested to see what I'm going to talk about in the coming weeks, I would definitely, you know, subscribe to my channel. Look for me on all the socials. On every social, it's usually just at crystal.styledit. You can see, you know, daily outfit ideas, other fashion tips and trends that I incorporate into shorts, some things that don't always end up on here in my shorts and some things that don't always end up everywhere else. But typically the go-to for all of that is going to be on my Like to Know It page if you're interested in shoppable pieces that you could buy, or if you like my fashion sense. That's a really good place to find kind of everything in one spot. But next week, I'm actually not sure what the video is going to be yet for next week, but I know next week's blog article I'm going to talk about, for any of you that are in the DMV area, I'll be talking about some really cool places to go for dinner, drinks, appetizers, whatever have you, for Valentine's Day. So if your boyfriend is putting all of the pressure on you, or if you want to throw out some ideas to him, be sure to tune into my blog article next week so that you can kind of see some cool places to go. But with that being said, I'm going to go. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next week. All right, bye.